Hello and welcome to this video about Site Animator, a new open source CMS that I'm currently developing. Today I will show you how to create a Hello World page and route. Here you have the interface of Site Animator. We are currently in routes. Here you can add routes and groups, and for this example and coming videos we will use a new group, examples, and add it to the routes. You see, I get a new group here, examples, and I want a new route, Hello World, in the examples group. We define a route for this page. And here you have some options that we will discuss later. And we have some custom options. Currently there are no custom options, but when I select the options, I can add custom options for a page. You see, I get title options and meta options, and in this case we only define the page title. And now we have added this route. We will open the link and you see that the system cannot find the page. This is because the page is not public, so the page is not visible to visitors to your website. If you want to edit this page or this route, then you can click this button, Show Not Public Items, and open the link. Now you can see it opened an empty page in the route Examples, Hello World. When we are in this route, we can go to Page Elements. You see, we get two page elements, and currently there are no page elements, only the route. Here you can add new page elements, and we are going to create a container. We make it public. The parent is the page, and we will use an item container. You see, I have options here. There are currently no options. When I select options, I can add container options. When I add the container options, I get container options and content options. The content we can define. In this case, we don't need it. And the container we can define. It has a background color in this case, and some layout options. Layout options you can define for different widths and different heights of the window. In this case, we have a full width defined, and it's for all widths and all heights. We use a percentage width of the window, 100%, and a percentage height of the window, also 100%. When we add this container, you see we get a new element, container. Here. But we don't want this orange background, so we will change it into a gradient. To change it into a gradient, we will select the type and change the type into a color site object. Now you can see that this has become a color, and we can click on the select. When you click on the select, you go to colors of Site Animator. We will define a new group. And in this group, we will define a new background. Because we want to use a gradient that is quite complicated, we will use a gradient that are already defined. Here you have a gradient with options. See, it's a gradient with a linear type and some color stops and some other options. When I select options, I can copy this gradient, go to my examples Hello World background that I just created, click on the options and paste the options of the other gradient. You see I've got a gradient now with the color stops of the other gradient, and I will change the colors of this gradient. Change it, select it, and change the container. You see, I got no background. I made a mistake here. This is not a color, but a background, because it is a gradient. So now we have a new gradient background. Now we want to create a new text item, a title. It's public. But now the parent is not the page, but the container. We can add some options for this text. We will use a text container. We don't want the container options in this case. We do want some container options, but not all of them, just simple container options. So we will create a new object. We can set the type of this object. And we will define some padding on top for this container. We will set the text. And we set the font size. We will also add some text align. And you see we have a new text here. Okay, I can make a mistake. Text. Choose text. Okay. And here. Okay. And we also want the text for the Hello World. Make it public. Parent is a container, text container. Yes, we will use text container options. In this case, we don't want out, but we want some margin. And we will define some text, but in this case we will not use text, but we will use a translation. So we'll change the type to translation, and we can select the translation. Here we are translations, and here we can also create a new group for the translations. And we will world. Group and examples. And we have some Hello World text. Now I will use some text that I already created before. So that don't do. And we created worlds. It's not in the right group. And we will set the text, select it, and add it to the page. Don't have to align it. So you see, we have created some text here, and we still want some hello world in this. Also use the container, some text. Not use the container, the text. Set the text to but in this case we want some bigger text, and we also want a different color. And we change the text. Okay, you see we have this hello world, this text, and then this text. So we don't want this hello world text here, but we want it in the middle of these two texts. For this we can open the container, and you see we have these page elements that we created, the title, the hello world text, and the other hello world. So now the hello world, we will change the order, and now you see we have the page that we wanted. This is all about the basic creation of a page and a route. I hope you have learned something about Site Animator. This is the first video. I will make a next video short walkthrough of all the elements and options of Site Animator. There are lots of options and elements that we didn't discuss now. Site Animator is currently under development, trying to get to a first edition that can be released. If you want me to support me or in any way, or contact me to help or to get involved, don't hesitate, send me a mail, and I will try to contact you as soon as possible.